Have you got beer?
Mm-hmm.
Mate,
You?
you not got a glass?
I'm not a
You love
classy
it,
man like that. I probably should, to be fair, but
no, it's fine.
I've also got a whiskey. Big Thursday sesh, let's go.
Thirsty Thursdays.
Exactly, exactly.
So, your top three favourite grounds. Let's go for number three first. What do you have?
So coming in at number three is the UK's national stadium. Well, I guess it's not the UK's, it's England's, isn't it? I need to be there.
Yeah, don't forget about the other ones, mate.
I'm just trying to be like inclusive of like the UK and stuff, but obviously Scotland fans in particular would not be happy with me saying it's the UK. So we'll go with England. Yeah, it's that's my third favourite. I've been to like quite a few different games there, which obviously I'll go into in a bit more detail. Yeah, like I first went to see it was Gillingham in the playoff final. When you first go there, you get off the tube station, and well, even on the way in, you can like see the arch as you're coming in. It's just that anticipation. Like it's obviously such a big stadium. You can just see it from everyone. You just like the second you see it, you get that anticipation like going there. And when you get off the tube station, it's like quite a bit of a walk. If obviously you've probably been there yourself. It's probably like a 15-minute walk. And obviously, like if you're going there on a big game, which is going to be most of the time you go to Wembley, all the fans kind of walking down. You obviously walk down for a little bit, get to Wembley Way, and it's just like the iconic sights. Obviously, again, like when I've been there for like some of the big occasions, you've obviously got like the kind of like branded. I can't think of an example, but you know, like it will have like text about the specific game, like on the top of the stadium, like
Yeah,
maybe a picture of like the two captains or whatever. It's just that whole like massive event around it, which doesn't. I don't really like. I've not really seen replicated anywhere else. Like again, probably if you go to like any other final, it's probably the exact same. But it's so you associate Wembley so much with like the big occasions, just the big crazy games, and it's not like anything else I've been to, which I guess is kind of natural with going to a final, but it's just that building with Wembley as well. Even like I've been there to like for like league games as well, and it still has that crazy feeling around it. When you get in, what really struck me is just like, even though it's huge, I've literally like I've been to a few games. I've been like stuck like in the gods, like right at the top. And even there, it's like a decent view, and it gets criticised for that actually quite a bit. But for me, it's like I'll talk about it a bit more. But I've been to Old Trafford, for example, and like I've been up the top there, and it's actually like you are kind of squinting a little bit. Whereas Wembley, it's not like that at all. I think I remember you saying about Hampden Park's a little bit like that. Obviously, it's not quite as big, but
yeah. Wembley's completely different kettle of fish because everything's a bit tighter to the pitch, whereas Hampden, you've got the track around it and everything's a bit distant. Um, so it's a great stadium because of obviously being a Celtic fan. I love like watching Celtic play there because it's usually it's always going to be sort of like a cup final occasion, cup semi.
yeah.
But with those sort of like neutral stadiums, I get what you're saying. Like there's always that massive occasion around it.
I've got to say about I went to see. So this was March 2019. So my stepbrother, you might know, he's a Sunderland fan, and Sunderland got to the Checker Trade Trophy final.
Massive.
Sunderland v Portsmouth, and it like the biggest. That's the games that you dream of as a fan. The thing is as well, like it was hilarious because like it was like nearly full. I think it was the biggest ever attendance for a Checker Trade Trophy final, whatever the name is, like back in the past. Just mental atmosphere, like both Sunderland and Portsmouth fans, and I'll come on to Portsmouth actually in a bit because you'll see. But yeah, just just madness for like a game of that level. And it was actually a crazy game as well. Unfortunately for my brother, Sunderland lost, and I was in the Sunderland end. It was on penalties as well. It was like heartbreaking, but like I was kind of there, like everyone around me, like basically not in tears. You could just tell everyone was like gutted, and I was just kind of there, like this is awkward. But my main point was because that game's actually not on my top three, but I just remember outside, like just the kind of carnival atmosphere. It was like being at a festival. There was like beer stands everywhere, food stands, just like obviously thousands of people mulling about, music blaring. It was just like a lovely, like sunny day as well. It was just like, it's just what football's about in some ways. Like just that kind of like crazy atmosphere around it that just gets you like so pumped for the game.
All right,
Yeah.
let's dive into it. Your top 3 games. What do you have at number 3?
Okay, so number 3. So basically back in the 29-10 season, so this is again going back to my stepbrother being a Sunderland fan. My dad, so we live in Surrey, that's where my dad and like that side of the family live. One of the closest teams to us is actually Portsmouth. So we ended up, basically my dad and stepbrother went to a Sunderland v Portsmouth game in the league. They ended up going to a cup game as well, that's one that I went to as well. And then I think my dad went to another Portsmouth game. I think maybe against Chelsea. I'm not exactly sure. Basically, the point is we qualified to get semi-final tickets when they got there. So obviously, like none of us are Portsmouth fans, but we were like, well, we're in the raffle now, like or whatever it is, like we might as well go. Yeah, somehow managed to get tickets, which was like incredible. Like I'd been to Wembley once before, but I'd never been to like that was again. I'll come onto it in a bit to see a Gillingham game. I hadn't gone to a game of that kind of standard. So we actually ended up going to the final as well. Sorry, after Portsmouth got through, but that just wasn't number one. It wasn't as good a game because Portsmouth lost, and it just I don't know. It didn't have that. I think that kind of like, to be fair, that kind of like ruined it a little bit because I just kind of see it as I was going there not as a Portsmouth fan as such, but going obviously in their end. The final was against Chelsea. Fucking hate Chelsea. I just did not want them to do well. So that kind of tarnished it a little bit. Whereas the semi, they actually won. It was actually like a pretty rubbish game. But as you can imagine, so tell the story of the game a little bit. It was 0-0, so it got to extra time. I think with about 10 minutes in. Do you remember Picquion? The pretty like he wasn't a very good defender, but like that guy who played for Portsmouth, he scored, and obviously it was just absolute carnage. Like people just going crazy. And then I'm pretty sure, what's his name, Kevin Prince Boateng, who obviously like went on to play for like AC Milan and Barcelona. He scored a penalty to seal the win against Spurs. This was Spurs as well. Pardon me. Who had like I remember Bale, like very specifically remember Bale, just thinking, bloody hell, that guy's fast. Like when you sit, because that's the thing. Like we were sat like quite close to the pitch, on like on one of the side stands. So whatever half it was, when Bale was on the wing, you could just see him running up and down. It was just like just crazy. So the fact that Portsmouth won was like pretty mental.
Yeah, but you say that Portsmouth actually did quite. They became like an FA Cup team around that sort of those years. 2008 when United won the Prem and the Champions League. That I always remember because I used to watch that season religiously with my dad, and obviously I've got an allegiance to Man United because of my dad. But like I remember if we'd beaten Portsmouth in that game in the FA Cup where United played them. United would have probably had a really good shot at winning another treble there. But it was Portsmouth who actually went on to win the cup that year. So, they
I think
had cup caliber in the past.
Yeah, I remember that game actually. As you can tell, I'm a Man United fan, but I did not get that up. But yeah, I remember that. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's Van der Sar. It might be Kushak got sent off, and Ferdinand went in goal. And we ended up losing, which was pretty grim. I think we battered them as well and still lost, but I'll take the Champions League and Premier League that season. But yeah, the third game was the Portsmouth Spurs one. One thing I remember as well. Do you remember? So I was sat, as I said, on like one of the side stands. That makes sense. Not like the kind of
along the side.
articulate. I mean, but yeah, and I like so obviously when you go to Wembley, it's kind of for like a cup game, it's like split in half.
Hmm.
So I was sat probably other side of the stadium looking at like where the kind of like other side of the Portsmouth fans were. And do you remember that really famous Portsmouth fan? The one with like the dreadlocks, the big hat, the
The
tattoos,
tattoos, yeah.
who's I researched this before. His name is literally John Anthony, Portsmouth Football Club, Westwood. And I'm not shitting you. I could literally, I just remember like, and he has, I think, I don't know if he has the bells actually. I might be making that up, but like, I just remember like, considering obviously there's 90,000 people at Wembley and there's obviously thousands of people that would be around him. I just remember looking over and being like, it's that guy from the TV, that absolute nutter. And yeah, that's like one of the biggest memories I have of the game, apart from the game itself. The kind of
So
thing you go to Wembley for.
I believe your next Wembley one involves Spurs as well.
Yeah, that's a good link. So yeah, this is number 2. So this was January 2019. People will probably remember it's Tottenham v Man United. So obviously, as I've said, I'm a United fan, living in London. I remember seeing that this game was coming up, and I was like, I got to try and get tickets for it because it's just an easy game for me to go to. Actually, ended up. This is Spurs fans are gonna hate me, but signed up to the Spurs website to get tickets. Literally, like so. I'll go with the equivalent. So I remember speaking to my friend about this because I went with a few friends, and he said like to go see Liverpool, you have to like pay a £30 fee, you have to be put on a waiting list, blah blah blah. With Spurs, none of that. Signed up straight away. Still get emails through from them, just like Spurs, like buy some shirts and stuff. It was just so easy. Managed to get tickets that way. Obviously, I've chosen this game because it's United. It was within the first month of Ollie's reign. So when he was like the interim manager. So this was like peak like Ollie's at the wheel. Yeah, it was a pretty like standard game, like nothing amazing. I'm pretty sure Spurs. I mean, actually, it wasn't a bad game. There's quite a lot of chances. I remember that Spurs in the second half had like millions of chances. It was one of the Hayers like nutty games where he made like 8 saves or something.
Oh, his good
But
nutty
yeah,
games.
what's that? Sorry.
His good nutty games then.
Yeah, not like now where bless him, poor David. But yeah, it was so people probably remember it as 1-0, and I just remember like just the absolute carnage when so the goal basically came about, and this is why I really liked it actually, why it kind of sticks in the memory. So I actually remember that day that I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure Spurs might have been playing a diamond as well, but United I remember us distinctly playing a diamond. We had Rashford on the right of the front two, Martial on the left. I think Lingard is like a false 9, number 10, just doing his like whatever you say about Lingard, he's great at pressing, he's great in the big game, so much energy. And it was just before half time. Me and my mates were going down. We were literally walking downstairs to get some pints. It's a ball I think played. I can't remember who it was, but someone tried to play a ball. I think it was Trippier actually. Lingard intercepts it, plays it back to Pogba. Pogba plays this like honestly like I think about 40-yard pass over the top. Ben Davis is like attacking, so he's like completely out of the game. On that right side, bang, straight to Rashford, one touch, smashes it in the bottom corner. And as I said, like we got it through the Spurs side, so we're in the Spurs end. And don't want to like hate on Spurs too much, but so many people around us started cheering like it was a joke. Like I was like, when it went in, I was like, I probably shouldn't cheer. And loads of people around us were going mad. I was like, might as well then. Like just went absolutely crazy. I was like, this is take piss so much.
I love seeing someone from like, obviously a away fan, like launch in the air in the home section, and he's just like, I don't care. I'm probably going to get battered and a load of crap thrown at me, but I love to
That's
see
the thing.
it.
Imagine if you were at like Millwall or like if you were at like Millwall, like another like kind of lower league team. If you did that, like I don't want to like stereotype Millwall, but come on. But yeah, you'd get your head kicked in. But like just so many people, it's like no one could do anything because like so many people are doing it. It was great.
Yeah, there's reasons for those stereotypes there.
Yeah. Let's not get into that. But yeah, but yeah, great game. I think that was potentially Ollie's first like Big Six game as well. And yeah, like because people criticize Ollie for tactics, and I mean I do a little bit as well. But you could see then that he wasn't just like a complete idiot. Like he actually did have a good tactical plan. The diamond really worked in our favour. Yeah, great day out.
Nice. And then, so going on to your final one, I understand it's not anything to do with the Premier League side.
I've mentioned it briefly actually. This was my first ever game at Wembley. Essentially, it was. So obviously, I'm saying obviously, people watching might not know, but I'm from Kent, and my local team is Gillingham, who pretty shite to be honest with you. Like they kind of, I think they've actually established themselves in League One, but they were in League Two for quite a lot of my like teenage years. So this was the 08-09 season. Gillingham got to basically like finished sixth, got through to the playoff final. I actually didn't go to the semis, and it was like mad scenes. Like the second leg was at our home stadium, and like I just remember seeing videos and clips the next day. Like quite a few people from school I knew went, and it was just like people running on the pitch, like absolute madness. I didn't go to the semis, but my mate managed to get. Well, I think it was my mate's dad. He was a season ticket holder. Managed to get tickets, which actually like made quite a lot of my other mates jealous because like tickets were like gold dust. Like again, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Gillingham took like at least 30,000 fans. Like it was
Wow.
pretty mad, considering they were a League Two club at the time. But yeah, I just remember like getting up early, getting the coach up with Gillingham fans. Obviously, like songs on the way there. The whole thing I've described about Wembley before, but obviously for the first time, just like this is like absolute madness. Getting into the stadium, we got there quite early, you know. And also at this time, I was like, how old was I? 15. So I mean, some people might be drinking at that age, but I wasn't. It was a sober experience, but it was like any bit as good as my drunken football experiences. But yeah, into the game, pretty bad game, as you can imagine, from two League Two teams. I say that actually, I've watched some pretty good like League One and League Two games, but yeah, it was pretty turgid. Not really much happened. Yeah, like there's just wasn't really much going on. It got to like I think it was about the 88th minute, and this is the amazing thing as well, is it was like Gillingham player down the left wing. He dribbles towards the byline, and basically it shows on the replay that the ball actually, so basically like the ball kind of like comes off the defender, but then it actually comes back off him. But the referee gives a corner. Obviously, like this is like way before the days of VAR or whatever.
Yeah.
Not they probably have it at that level anyway. But yeah, we get a corner in like the 89th minute. It's just obviously you can tell what happens next, and people might know. But yeah, ball in across to Simeon Jackson, who later went on to play for Norwich in the Premier League. Header, I think it like kind of like went off the post, and you know those goals where it kind of happens in slow motion, but when it gets deflection, it's like that kind of like it kind of like bounced off the post and just kind of like dribbled in the air over the line. We were like, wait, has it gone in? And then everyone started cheering, and it was just like, as you can imagine, 89th minute win or whatever it was, the League Two playoff final. I ended up probably about 3 rows down, hugging some man I never met before. Like it was just honestly unreal. Like the best way to win a game. Didn't care that it was a shit game because it just got promoted. Like it was, yeah, absolute madness. Probably one of the nuttiest things I've seen in football, and that was at League Two level. Like, yeah, that's got to be my best experience at Wembley because it was a final.
Yeah. To be fair, I've gone to like non-league football before.
Yeah.
I'd seen some pretty, atrocious games. I've been to the Amex, seen some pretty atrocious games, but like you said, like a 90th minute winner banging in off post makes up for it all. And
exactly.
Assuming they went down the next season.
We'll come on to that actually. We actually will come on to that. No spoilers.
But
fine.
So I did top 3 games. Top goal out of all of them. Who was it?
So I've actually already talked about it. I've seen a few all right ones. I remember I talked about the Sunderland Portsmouth game. There was a pretty decent free kick from Aidan McGeady. Also, in the Portsmouth Chelsea FA Cup final, which I didn't really talk about that much because, I just doesn't hold good memories for me. But Drogba, to be fair to the guy, did score an absolute banger of a free kick. But number one has to be the Rashford goal, just because of, honestly, just because you could see the tactical plan being played out. The ball from Pogba was just unbelievable. And then Rashford, again, he does get criticised a lot for not being able to finish. And I do think it is one of his, it's not his weakness because he does score a lot of goals. But, if you compare him to, I don't know, Salah or Mane, he's not as clinical, clearly. But he does have it in him. And, that was literally just, the pace to get through, one touch, and then bang, bottom corner, exactly where you want him to put it. Just a brilliant goal. Not like a banger by any stretch of imagination, but just, for the reasons I said.
I agree with what you say. He definitely has some way to go to sort of be compared with some of the greatest wingers and forwards that United's ever had. But
yeah, definitely.
Right, he's still but really special goals, hasn't he? Do you remember the free kick against Chelsea and things like that?
Oh man, man, unbelievable. If you look at his stats as well, I think he's got something like 83 goals and 50 assists in 250 games. So it's almost 1 and 2 goal contributions. He's doing a great job. He's 23 as well, and he's a great lad. So what more could you want?
OBE, right?
Rashford for PM.
Yeah, 100%. I would vote for him.
I think he's MBE. I don't know what the difference is between them.
Better version of Trump, but let's not get too political here.
No. Just imagine him with a blonde toupee now.
All right, out of all of them, what's your all-time favourite moment?
Well, it's got to be Simeon Jackson's header. I'm saying Simeon Jackson as if he's a really famous player. He's definitely not. Although, as I said, he did play for Norwich in the Premier League. He actually scored the goal that got Norwich to the Premier League from the Championship, which is an interesting fact. So I remember, he played for Gillingham, and he was by far the best player at Gills. And then, he went on to play in the Premier League. And every time I saw him, I was like, let me say, he was a good goal scorer. He did do some really silly things. I remember the first time I ever saw him, he tried to do a step over and just kick the ball out for a throw. And I was just he was just one of those players you get at that level where he clearly has talent, but he's not the all-round player that you'd want. So when he was playing in the Premier League, I was like, Simeon Jackson, fuck, go on, lad. That, a fair play, clearly doing it for the little man. But he was on fire that season as well, and the next season. Gillingham's top scorer that season. And if it was going to be any person to score that header, it would be him. And it was just, I've already gone through it, but nothing can beat that, a last-minute winner in a final.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Nothing else to say.
I've got to agree with you there. However, I'm a bit surprised that you didn't say that the game where Sunderland lost the Checkatrade Trophy final and your brother's miserable. But
that was, not gonna lie. I love a bit of banter in football, but I was a little bit sad for him. But then I did give him shit not the whole way home. But, I actually remember that though. I remember being on the train with my bro. He was wearing obviously a Sunderland kit, and they were probably about a group of 8 Portsmouth fans, and they were all teenagers, and they were just giving him dogs abuse. Obviously pissed. Just there, just giving him so much shit, and I was just oh man, this is not what you want, but it's quite funny at the same time.